Hello, everybody. Welcome to Feature Friday, and we'll get started here in just a moment. I'm running just a little bit behind tonight. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Carol. Hope everyone's had a wonderful week. Woohoo! Oh my goodness. Let me get some more studio lighting on. Excuse me. There'll be light. That should be better. How's everyone doing? Woo. Okay. And let me check one more thing, everyone. Where is it? Let me think here. New setup. Okay. Hope everyone can hear me okay. And all that fun stuff. Is the audio working okay for everybody? Hello. Test, test. If you're watching and you can hear my voice, please say something into the chat window, please. Hi, Grammy Judy. Thank you. I appreciate it. All righty. Now then, oh my gosh. Wonderful, Margaret. Thank you so much. Hi, Karen. Awesome. Thank you, Vivian. Okay, we're going to get started, everyone. We're going to get started. Now, I'm having to do this a different way tonight, and I'm just trying to figure out how to swap to a different camera. Hi, Linda. So good to see you. Hope it's not storm. It's getting ready to pour down rain here where I'm at in Illinois. Boy, howdy. Now then, one more thing I need to do before we actually go to this little lesson I have planned is I have to swap to a different camera. And since this is a completely new setup, I have to figure that out live, which is always a fun thing to do. Let's see here. Hold on. Let me start that little rascal up for just a second and see if that will do it. No, it won't. Okay. I'm just going to close that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me think here. Oh, right there, maybe. Here we go. I think that will do it. Maybe I found it. Just 1 second. Manage. Nope, that was not it. Go back to that. Right there. Okay. I found something to click on here. Okay, so as you can see behind me, that's the little quilt top we made on this channel last Friday night. I have it hanging here on my background. Hi, Christina. So what I have planned tonight is how to use IQ Designer, and you can do this on any machine that has IQ Designer on it, and use some of the built-in shapes to create an applique in the hoop. That's what I'm going to teach tonight. I'm still editing videos on the Just Flowers series, so that has been pushed forward to next week. I've been here in the shop, has been a crazy busy week, and I'm just running behind on everything, it seems like. But it's all good, and we will get that finished, I promise. Now then, let me think how I'm going to do this. because I can't move the camera that way. And why will it not do that? No. Oh, Lordy. There is a way to do it. How is it? Check that one out. And this one. That. Nope. 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 Okay. So, just a moment. I'm going to try something. You may lose the video for just a moment. We're still rolling here. It should still be good. No, we don't want that. There we go. Now then. And everyone just hold on a moment. That should do it. Okay. Oh, Christina, that is one word for it, that's for sure. So, everybody, due to a little bit of a software issue I am having, I'm not going to be able to swap my camera over tonight. So, that being said, we are going to do some brainstorming and come up with some cool lessons and tutorials that you all would like to see. So here I am putting it on all of you watching as to what type of tutorials you would like to see over the next few weeks. It can just be a 1 or 2 word topic. I'm going to write everything down so I can refer to it back as and create the content each week off of that. So tonight you get to pick what type of content or tutorials or lessons you would like to see here on the channel over the coming weekend, over the coming Fridays. Thank you, Sherry. You know, when you're doing a live video, it's not like when you film something and you can edit out all the little boo-boos and stuff like that. But when you're live, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared for the unexpected, which is what happened tonight. So I am going to put down IQ and applique in the hoop as one topic. Applique in the hoop. Okay. So what else would people like? I had the Meridian set up tonight also. I will leave that for next Friday night. And what are some other topics you all would like to see? So I'm gonna put this back on you all of you sitting out there watching this video right now live. So IQ Designer, I know, is a topic everybody just can't get enough of. What would you like to see? What would you like to learn how to do an IQ Designer that you don't currently really fully understand how to do? Any questions? Text with multiple lines. Perfect. Have that written down. That's a great one, Sherry. quilting in the hoop. Awesome, Linda. Okay. I'll add that onto your comment, Sherry. Center the top line and left justify the rest. Perfect. And that can totally be done, Sherry, just so you know. Oh, you're welcome, Sherry. Thank you. Any other topics, anybody? And if you've already given one, you can give another. It's all good. And I appreciate that comment, Sherry. I really do try on my videos. Sometimes technology is not willing to cooperate like tonight, but it happens. It happens to all of us, especially when we try to do something live. I just can't get it to swap from that camera to my portable camera that I can capture the screen on the sewing machine with. That's what is going on tonight. But it's all good. Okay. See, so there's three Fridays right there. IQ and applique in the hoop, text with multiple lines, centering the top line and left justifying the rest. And the third one is quilting in the hoop. Now, that could be a whole series of videos, the quilting in the hoop, text around objects and arrays. That's a great one, Christina. Text around objects and arrays. Awesome. And our machines will completely 100% do that. Hi, Vanessa. Welcome. Give me a sip of coffee. Tonight, Vanessa, we are having a brainstorming session on different topics everyone would like to see us touch and create lessons out of for our Feature Fridays. So, side note here, going on here in the little town that I live in, this is actually Fair Week. So the fair is going on out at the county fairgrounds here in Henry, Illinois. Oh, it's okay, Sherry. It's okay. We have a good list. There's our list so far, right there, for our topics for our upcoming for next week and the several Fridays after that. Oh, wonderful, Sherry. So, Sherry, just so you know, when it comes to IQ Designer, anything to do with the Meridian and the Altair are sister machines. Your Altair does embroidery and sewing. The Meridian is the embroidery only version of the Altair. So what I'm going to show next week will be on the Meridian, and that will actually apply to the Altair as well. Some Triumph projects. Awesome, Vanessa. Triumph Serger projects. Perfect. Yes, there's so much we can learn about on these machines, whichever one you have. And yeah, I always demo on a baby lock machine. However, many of the techniques that I show will apply to other machines as well. Oh, this is made from one K-facet jelly roll of fabric. It's a jelly roll quilt. Made it on the, what did I make that on? I think I made that on the, made it last, I made it on the Altair last Friday night, actually. Yeah, this was completely pieced on the Altair. It only took about an hour and 45 minutes to make the entire quilt top. It makes a beautiful background. That's my design wall right in behind me right there. So yeah, I needed something to dress it up for the camera. So I just pinned it up on my design wall and it made a wonderful backdrop. Wonderful, Margaret. Let me write that one down. Let me go back to an applique quilt sandwich and add a fill in the background of the block. Okay. I'm going to write that down, Margaret. How to add wonderful. And there is a way to do that, Margaret, just so you know, whether, and we'll go over that in that class. Hi, Sherry, Palette 11. Sherry, I have a series of videos here on my channel about Palette 11. So probably won't be doing that one live since I have pretty well covered that in my video series. Serger, cut out neck of t-shirt into a rolled hem around. Okay. Let me get that one wrote down, Christina. These are some great ideas, everybody. Wonderful. And Sherry, if there's anything specifically in palette that you're wondering about, just ask me that question because there's so much in palettes, but I've got pretty much all the basics and the wizards and everything like that is already covered in a video. Oh, thank you, Christina. All righty. No, I have quilted 6 quilts this week. It's been a busy week here in my studio for getting work done for my customers and everything. So it has put me behind on everything. Yeah, I haven't slept a lot this week, everyone. I'm getting ready to I'll be finishing up a quilt top tomorrow and then quilting it for a customer as well that I'll have to ship off to Canada. So it's all good. Oh, wonderful, Janelle. Oh, so good to see you. You're my mushroom lady from Boise, Idaho. So, how's the weather across the country, everyone? I know we have people from all over the US here. Vivian, any tips or trips about the accolade? Let me write that one down. Tips, tricks. And just so you know, Vivian, the Accolade is the 8-thread serger. It doesn't have the wide throat that the Triumph has. However, any video you see that is demoing some of the serger attachments or different serger feet, regardless of whether it's the Triumph or the Accolade, it's going to be the exact same setup on your Accolade as it is on the Triumph. The only difference between those two, the big difference between those two machines, is the fact of the throat space on the machines. So, just so you know that. That's a great serger, Vivian. I know you love that machine. Hi, Joan. Oh, Indian Lake Estates, Florida. Wonderful. I'll be in Florida the first week of October, everybody, going back down for flash sewing and the big sewing expo there at the big convention center right outside of Punta Gorda. It's like October the 1st through the 4th or something like that. I'll have more information on that as it gets closer. As you know, it got up at least to the mid 90s here today as well. It was really hot today here in north central Illinois. And Christina, you're down in Florida also. How is it in your part of the state? Yes, Vanessa. It's that time of the year in Illinois when it's hot and sticky and yucky and rainy, and it's almost like monsoon season here. It seems like right now. There for over a month we got zero rain, and now it's raining every other day or every day, and it's hotter than blue places. Yes, the humidity. Don't we just love the humidity this time of year? It's something we get to share in all from coast to coast, it seems like. Excuse me. So I'll show y'all a little quilt I have hanging here in front of me. Do a little show and tell. So there's this little dude here. Check this one out. It's a little wall hanging. Back up a little bit. There we go. Now you can see it. Yeah, so that's all applique. The background is 9 10-inch squares of fabric sewn together. And the applique was just done with a multi-step zigzag raw edge applique. Now I'll get it a little bit closer. So you can see that, yes, I free motion quilted it. And this is one of my classes I'm going to be teaching here in my studio. Yes, I do have a classroom now. I'll be teaching classes here at my studio in Illinois as well. And very soon we'll be posting a class schedule. But that is one of the classes I'll be teaching here. And that is called Scrap Petal Garden is the name of the pattern for that. And then the hoop I was going to use tonight. So I don't know how many of you have this hoop. If you have a baby lock embroidery machine, check this one out. This is the 5x7. Hello. See how it frames my face? This is the 5x7 baby lock magnetic hoop. It is one of my favorite hoops. I just love this hoop. And check out these magnets. They are so easy. See that? So easy. And I'll tell you what, and they're really strong too. They're really strong magnets. When you hoop something in one of these baby lock magnetic hoops, it's not going to come out of it just from moving around on the machine. These are wonderful hoops. I highly, highly, highly recommend this hoop. So this will fit all, like the Meridian, the Altair, the Solaris, and several other machines as well. But those are the basic, the three. Yeah, so it's this hoop right here. And some of the other machines have different size magnetic hoops for it. You just have to check before you purchase one. Chris, I think they do. I'm not 100% sure on what Brother offers. I'm a Baby Lock national educator. I do know that this is a Baby Lock hoop. I'm pretty sure that Brother has one that's close to that, but I'm not 100% sure. So do not quote me on that. There we go. Okay. But the 5x7 magnetic hoop is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I will be using this hoop next Friday night. Just so everybody knows, next Friday night, I'm going to be using this hoop. There we go. It will almost go. I can almost wear it like a hat or a halo. Looky there. Yeah, it does fit my head. Okay, enough silliness. Oh my goodness. If I can get someone to laugh, I've made it. It works perfect. I will do anything to get a laugh, everybody, or just about anything anyway. Let's see what else I have laying around here that's kind of cool. On my last trip to Naples, Florida, at the fabulous Flash Quilt and Sew Shop there in Naples, Florida, I brought this home with me. I couldn't resist it. Check it out. It's a Cape facet umbrella. Check that out. Isn't it beautiful? Look, it matches my quilt. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, and it's actually a real umbrella. It's like vinyl waterproof. It's beautiful. It has yet to be out in the water. It lives here in my studio. But yeah, it is totally cool. And it folds up so you can totally take it with you. But I had to have that. I saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to have that. I've never used it for what it's intended for. I just wanted it because it was pretty and it would look nice in my studio. That's all. That's one thing when you travel and go to a bunch of different quilt shops, you are always finding cool stuff like that. Not to be outdone, that trip was a Cape trip for me because I bought a lot of stuff. Let me show you this. Right back, I'm getting something off of the stand. Here we go. Okay. So you saw the umbrella, right? Check this out. It's a Cape zippered pouch with a shoulder strap. So check it out. Let me open it up. I don't know. It's a big one. I mean, it's not small. See how big this is? Isn't it huge? And it's like water. It's weatherproof. So yeah, it'd make a great laptop bag. Is the reason I bought it. It was just to stick a laptop in when I'm traveling, and just make a nice laptop bag is what I purchased it for. I don't think that's what it was intended for, but it's padded. So it'd make a great travel bag for a laptop. How perfect is that, right? I just love the pattern on it. And yes, there is actually K facet with this that you could buy off of the bolt that matches this if you so chose to. I had to show that one because I just really dig that. It's really cool. Oh, and let's see here. Then the other day I've been doing a lot of paper piecing over the last couple of weeks. And I'm gonna do some videos on that as well. But I was playing with a computer program I own called Electric Quilt. And I have a lot of the add-ons for Electric Quilt. Yes, Sherry, I think that is what it was designed for, was to carry rulers to classes with. Yes. So I printed out this. Check this out. I printed this out on computer paper. And what that is the shape of the pieces inside of a 45-degree diamond to make 8-pointed stars with. But it's all paper. This is all paper pieced, and this is something this is going to be a future class as well here on our Feature Fridays. I've really gotten back into paper piecing, and I can tell you it's really addictive. But I'm going to show you something I've been paper piecing, okay? Has anybody ever made a mariner's compass? So I've been making mariner's compasses. Hold on, I'm going to go grab one. Are you ready for this? I'm so proud of this. Check it out. Here's one of my mariner's compasses done with K fabric. Look at that. There it is. I can't begin to express to you how much work this is. This is not something that you get done quickly. But there it is. That's my first cave mariner's compass. Isn't it beautiful? The back of it, you can still see the paper. And I put a facing around it. And so on the edge, there's no raw edge. That fabric is folded under and it's an actual facing, and then it'll be appliqued down onto a quilt. But there it is. The thing I love about paper piecing, it is complete. You get perfect points when you paper piece. And this looks complicated, but it's really not. All you have to do is stitch on a solid line. If you can stitch on a solid printed line with a straight stitch, you can do this. It just takes a little time. There it is. Okay. That is an upcoming class, everybody. Okay. Oh, thank you, everyone. The background fabric, this is Robert Kaufman Essex cotton linen blend. It has little gold metallic threads in it. You can kind of see it shimmer a little bit when I move it back and forth. I'm going to get it closer to the camera. And you can see that and it doesn't show up the gold threads. There are gold metallic threads throughout this fabric. It's woven into the fabric. But this is a dark charcoal. It's like a charcoal color. It's a gray, so gray is really great. And then these parts is the same fabric, but this is a light silver gray, and then this is a silver blue right here, this little triangle is. That's just something you can't be afraid of an iron, because there's a lot of pressing when you paper piece as well. But I enjoy the process because you really do become one with your fabric and the piece that you're working on when you're paper piecing. It's really a wonderful. You get a great sense of accomplishment when you've created one of those things because that was not done in one day. It was not done in a day. Trust me when I say that. Okay. Let me think here. I got something else I wanted to show. What was it? Hold on. Do. Be right back. Hold on, everybody. I'll be right back. Okay. Another technique I'm going to share with everybody in an upcoming Feature Friday is this. So, who's made a Lone Star before, like an 8-pointed star? And this is what really got me started on this concept. Is what I'm about to show you. So, what I'm about to show you is not paper pieced, although it kind of looks like it almost. So, what I've done is I pieced these rectangles. This is all cafe fabric. I want a cafe kick, okay? I've pieced these rectangles of fabric. You see all the seams on the back of it. And out of one of those, I have cut 45-degree diamonds out of it. And then I'm going to take these and I'm going to make a Lone Star out of it. Pieced diamonds to make Lone Stars with. Pretty cool, right? So for the quilt, this is for my Canadian quilt, the one that Mariner's Compass is going into. I'm close to setting it all together and getting it quilted. I've made these for that quilt. And what I've done, I'm going to give you a peek at this. After we have made these diamonds, after I've made all these little diamonds in a variety of colorways, here's what I've created. Now this will be, there's more of these units I'm about to show you that will be sewn together for this quilt that I'm creating. But check it out. Here are my piece diamonds set together. This would be the center of a star right here. I'm going to back it up. I have the same gray charcoal metallic Robert Kaufman Essex fabric for all my background fabric. But there's part of that star that's going into this quilt. So this color here, all this beautiful red and orange and yellows will be in the very center of the star. And yes, it kind of matches this back here a little bit. But there we go. And yes, there's a lot of piecing. Check out all the seams on the back of this. See that right there. But that's what I have been working on diligently the last couple of weeks. And I am close to setting it all together. I'm so happy. I love Lone Stars also, Christina. Lone Stars and log cabins. And believe it or not, one night I am going to. Thank you, Foot. One of these nights, I'm going to show you what my real obsession is. You can call me crazy, but I love postage stamp quilts. Oh, Sherry, but no, honey. All I did was cut strips of fabric, sew them together, and cross cut them. So basically, I strip pieced. Hold on. This is all strip pieced. Okay. So it was not that difficult to do. You could cut out each individual square, and yes, it would take forever, yes. But you see this quilting behind me? That's what this started out as. It was a piece like this out of one jelly roll. I pieced all that together, and then I cut it that way into these little 1.5-inch strips. So I have whole 1.5-inch strips going across this way. Then I sewed it all together and cut it apart and got this. Once I had this, I have a template. Notice I can get 1 star out of that, 1 diamond. And then I save my trimmings and I'll create new fabric. So what I'm doing, I'm taking a bunch of fabrics and I'm creating my own fabric to cut my shapes out of. God, I hope that made sense. But that's what we quilters do. We will take perfectly good fabric and cut it up and sew it together, cut it apart and sew it back together again, and maybe even cut it a 3rd time and sew it together. Hi, Jacqueline. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's so, all I can say about pressing, because I pressed every square inch of that, everyone, let me tell you. That's when you need a steam iron with a large tank, with a large reservoir of water. Oh, Christina, a postage stamp quilt, the finished squares are 1 inch by 1 inch or smaller. A postage stamp quilt, the pieces of fabric are the size of a postage stamp. When you don't have anything better to do, why not make little bitty tiny quilt pieces about yay big? Postage stamp is actually smaller than the square in this diamond. Okay. That's what a postage stamp quilt is. And you can make the postage stamps are based on a square. So any pattern, Irish chain, sunshine and shadow, any of those types of different ways that you can actually set just squares of fabric together is totally 100% doable for a postage stamp quilt. Actually, Sherry, some of this I actually pieced the strips together like in behind me on a serger. It's much faster on a serger than a sewing machine. Then what I did after I had cross-cut, after I pieced this, and then I cut it into strips this way, across those, then what I did, I staggered it like Bargello to get the movement. See how the squares are offset up and down? So I moved it back and up each strip, back and forth. I'd move the square so that it would create movement in that. I hope that makes sense. So I didn't just butt everything up together and sew. If you look at this, you can see how those squares, look at it this way. Here's the strips right here. Okay, see how those are set? So there were no seams to match in this because all the seam lines I offset to the middle of its corresponding piece. You can see that right there if you look at that. Okay, hold on. How do I get the thread in the 1/4 inch? Let's see. Compact digital dual feed. Is that what you're asking me, Foot? No, Sarah. If it's 2 or 3 inches square, that's not a postage stamp. I've never seen a postage stamp is literally is a 1 inch by 1 inch finished fabric. So if you're going to strip piece it, you're going to cut 1.5 inch strips of fabric, because when you take that 1/4 inch off on each side, that's going to give you a 1 inch square finished square. But no, postage stamp quilts are not 2 to 3 inch finished squares. They are 1 inch finished squares sewn together. Yeah, so with that digital dual feed foot, whether the compact one or if you have the original version of it, use that 1/4 inch plate on that digital dual feed and you'll get perfect 1/4 inch seams each and every time. Yes. Okay. I hope that made sense. But that's what I've been doing here lately. Woo. One lady dropped 3 quilts off for me to quilt on Monday. And I got them, she picked all 3 of them up yesterday. I've got another one in my frame that a lady dropped off on Wednesday, and I'll get that quilted. She's going to pick it up next Wednesday. So yeah, I have been a busy little sewing quilting bee here in my studio for the last couple of weeks. Okay, Sherry. I'm trying to think of something else I can go grab to do a show and tell. Let's see here. Oh, well, I have got several. The jelly roll quilts like in behind me. I have gotten several of those finished here in the shop. I can't get. Let me read that. But that is correct, Vanessa. Let's see here. I get it. So what'll happen, Foot, with it, once you take a couple of stitches, it will feed under the foot. So there's really no way. I know what you're saying now. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, so just leave a tail, and as it stitches out and gets out in behind, just snip the thread and get rid of the tail to the thread that way. There's no other way to do that. Once you take your first stitch and you cut it, it'll always be under the foot at that point. Oh, I hope that makes sense. I'm going to go grab another quilt. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Okay. Alrighty. I brought a few quilts with me that I finally got all the binding done on them. Oh, you're fine, Foot. Yeah, you're fine with that. Yeah, I know it's hard to. I totally get where you're coming from with that, because when I'm sewing Leighton, I do piece with that digital dual feed foot quite a bit because it's really perfect and accurate and it feeds your layers of fabric through perfectly. But when I'm tired, I get this. Yeah, it's all good. So what I've been doing also, and it's in between all of that, I had a lot of quilts that I had quilted and did not have the binding on them. So here are just a sample of some of the quilts over the last 2 weeks. I have finally put binding on. This is one I quilted. I couched chenille on this one as I was quilting it. And I got that one done. That is a jelly roll quilt top as well. And there's the back of it. Okay. There's that one. Here's another jelly roll quilt top I finished. And I got the binding on it. Now, this jelly roll wasn't a jelly roll that I purchased. These were leftover strips. Leftover strips from different projects. I put them all together and just made a jelly roll quilt top out of them. But it's the same concept. So check it out. I really like this one. There's no two strips exactly alike in it. Check this one out. There we go. The binding is just scraps of 2.5-inch strips that I sewed together. So it's not the same fabric all the way around for the binding. The back, just that one piece of fabric on the back of it. There's some cool, look at the fabric there with the safety pins and just some cool little funky fabrics. I really love this one. This is a measuring tape that makes like cross hatching. Yeah, there's some cool fabrics in this one. Okay. Then I had a couple of smaller ones. This is just, I taught a class when I lived in Colorado, and this was the sample for that class, but I'd never put the binding on it until the last couple of weeks. And this one's probably about 6 or 7 years old, with this little log cabin right here. I taught a class on how to piece log cabins using jelly rolls. And this was my sample for that class. Right there. You can see my quilting. It's all free motion quilted. And there's the back of it. I like these small quilts like this because I like to decorate with them. They're a great way to put on the back of a chair or a couch, or maybe even put it on a tabletop. They make beautiful little table coverings and stuff like that. Then this one, actually strip piece this quilt top live on camera here on the channel. I can't remember when, everybody. I've done so much. But yeah, this is just a bunch of 9 patches made from one jelly roll of fabric right here. Oops. There we go. One jelly roll. I just pieced a bunch of 9 patches out of it. And the way I quilted it, it's called pumpkin seed. Check out the quilting on it. You can see that. You just make these little arcs from corner to corner all the way around. The back of it is some fabric from patriotic fabric, just little stars, kind of tea-dyed. It's not perfectly white, but that's cool. I thought it looked nice for that little quilt. Is that back? Then I had someone come into my studio last week before last and bought sold a couple of my quilts. So that was a good thing. Just get those folded back up. But these type of quilts here, they measure approximately 54 by 64 inches. Great throw quilts. If you've never made one, go find one jelly roll of fabric. It has to have 40 or 42 strips of fabric in it, and it will make, one jelly roll will make this size of a quilt. Just like we did last week. Right there, and I'm going to hold it all the way up. It makes a nice sized quilt. Yes, I will show the quilt with the couching again. Yes, Christina, that's a good one. Yes, I am like the little quilt energizer bunny. Absolutely. I tell you, there's not a better feeling when you've been working on a quilt and you get it quilted, then you get the binding on it and it's done and it's ready for either your bed or to go to someone's home to make them happy. It's a wonderful feeling to get a quilt done. But here's my quilt that I did. I quilted and applied the chenille all in one step. Okay, this was a jelly roll quilt as well. Let me just stand up here. Okay. Here we go. And what it is, I'll get this a little closer and you can see it. This is chenille yarn. That's what it is. I got it at Joann's. It's that microfiber chenille type of yarn. No, Miss Beth, I do not have a video on it, but I'm going to be doing a larger quilt in my frame, in my long arm, using this technique, and I'm going to film that or do it live on camera so everyone can see how that's done. It is so much fun to do. I love doing this technique. It makes a beautiful quilt, and it's so soft. And I didn't quilt this one heavy. The next one I'm going to quilt much heavier than this. But this one, this reminds me, this is an ode to my grandma Dalton. I remember when I was a little bitty kid back in the 60s, 5 or 6 years old, something like that. She had this beautiful chenille bedspread on the bed, and I would take my Hot Wheel cars, and the chenille tracks on that bedspread would be my would be where the lanes for my cars to go on. That's what and this reminds me of that. Okay. And even to this day, whenever I love to go to thrift stores, when I go to a thrift store, I will go to the bedspread section and see if there's not any nice vintage chenille bedspreads or anything, because I just love chenille. Okay. Yes, Sarah, it's exactly like couching. You're couching and quilting at the same time. Miss Beth, if you can free motion quilt, you can totally do it on the Solaris. Now on the Solaris, you could do it in the hoop using those built-in couching designs. You could use this yarn to do that with, for sure. We'll just add that to our list because that will be a wonderful topic for a future Friday night. We will do couching on the Solaris in the hoop with chenille. Chenille couching. I'm writing it on the list. Chenille couching in the hoop. You could also use the couching foot on any of the baby lock machines. On any of the baby lock machines, you can attach the couching foot to and do free motion couching, which is what I just showed you. I did. That was all free motion. Excuse me. Yes, Sarah, you could do it on the Altair, the free motion couching. You could totally do it on the Altair as well. Miss Beth, I might be in Arizona the first week, the 1st and 2nd of September, I think. It's not set in stone yet, but I'm going to be coming back to Phoenix for 35th Ave sew and vac for Jackie, and she's doing a quilt show in Scottsdale on the September 1st and 2nd, and I'm going to go there and work that quilt show for her. But that will be my next trip to the beautiful state of Arizona. All righty. And see, even though I had camera malfunctions, we've had a wonderful night tonight. And right in front of me, in behind the camera that I'm pointing at right now, I have this beautiful filigree wooden room divider screen that I have fabric hanging off of. There's no way for me to show you on camera tonight. I will in the future, but I'm just going to grab a piece of it. And these are remnants I pick up at different places. Hold on. I'll grab a few of my remnants. Now, those of you that know me know I like bling, right? So whenever I find a remnant of fabric, and I call this my blingy fabric, and there's more hanging up there. I'm not going to pull it all off. But here's a remnant of beautiful white lace I picked up somewhere. I don't remember where. Check it out. Have no clue what I'll ever use it for, but I had to have it. You know how that goes. You go to a fabric store, you see remnants, and something catches your eye. So there's that. See, beautiful lace. I can just cover my face up with it. Okay, enough of that. Here is a piece of fabric I tried to make curtains out of, and it did not work out well for me. So now I just have this big, beautiful piece of metallic netting. Isn't it pretty? I'll use that for something someday. Right now, it's just pretty to look at. Here is another piece of fabric, and it's like an organza, but it's got these little sparkly flecks. I don't know. See those little flecks? Well, when you move it, they sparkle like rhinestones. Check that out. It's just kind of cool. And then this is a 2-yard chunk. I don't know what I'll ever do with it, but for some reason it spoke to me and I had to have it. But it's a knit fabric, but it's not stretchy. It's very sheer, but check this fabric out. It is really cool. I'm going to get closer so you can. I'll hold it away from me so you can see the pattern in it before I check out the pattern in this fabric. Isn't it beautiful? Now, when you hold it up, it's sheer. Look how sheer that is. I have 2 yards of this. Don't know what I'll ever do with it, but I had to have it. Just cool fabric, that's all. So I don't always buy quilting fabric. I do buy garment fabric as well. Oh, Sarah, you know what? Let me think when it was. I was on the Jersey Shores. Let me think when that was. This is when I was still with AccuQuilt. And there was a little shop. What was the name of that little shop down there? This is going back 7 or 8 years or so. Back at that time, I traveled 42 weeks out of the year, going from one quilt shop and quilt show to another. But it was what really sticks out in my mind about that shop. I'm trying to think of the name of. She had the best selection of hand-dyed wool fabric ever. I know they're no longer in business. They went out of business. Hold on. Let me think where it's at. I have a wool quilt kit I purchased there. Imagine that. Let me go grab that, and I'll have the name of the store on it. Just a moment. Okay. I found it. So Christina was saying I was like a little quilting squirrel. Well, I squirrel away stuff, for lack of a better word. And as long as if I squirrel it away, I can usually find it. But I bought this little quilt kit, and it's all hand-dyed wool. It was a quilt shop called Quilting Possibilities. It was on the Jersey Shore. But I bought this quilt kit right here. It's a pictorial. If you turn it to the back, you can see some of the hand-dyed wool fabric in that kit. And what it does, it makes that scene. Because I love lighthouses and sailing ships, sailboats. So that is what I did. Yes, Sarah, I know it is. The two people that ran that husband and wife team that had that store, Quilting Pot, they were super nice people. And it broke my heart when I heard that they had to close up. But it was a wonderful shop. Love that shop, Quilting Possibilities on the Jersey Shore. So another nice shop I've been to in Jersey back in that time frame was So Jersey. I think she now has a couple of stores, but yeah, So Jersey. They're in the Trenton area, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Jackie has that store, the So Jersey stores, SCW Jersey. Great shop. I'm pretty sure she's still in business, so that'd be a wonderful one for you, Sarah, to go check out. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. Ooh-wee. Yeah, but I've had this little quilt kit ever since. I haven't made it yet. I'll make it someday. I'll find the time to make. But check out this yummy hand-dyed wool fabrics. And look at, oh my gosh, it is so soft. This is like a gray model. Look at that. Beautiful boiled wool. I mean, this is just not raw, not like wool fabric you would buy off of a bolt. This is boiled wool, hand-dyed boiled wool. It's so awesome. And it's soft. So there's that. This, oh gosh, just touching it. Touching it. There's that one. These little pieces here, kind of ivory colored. As I say, light oatmeal. That's a 5 by 7 inch piece of wool, boiled wool. Creamy plaid. I've never opened this up, everybody, so this is a first. This one's called, oh gosh, that is so soft. Now I'm going to have to make this thing, everyone. I have to do this, make this on camera. Yeah, so there's another one. It is so soft. My gosh. And you can put it on your skin. You know, it's not an itchy or anything like that. It is soft as flannel. I mean, it's softer than flannel, everybody. All kinds of, there's a little square, black. Anyway, I'll do this on camera, and that will be something fun for everybody to see, and it'll be a good learning experience. There's the pattern for it. Right there, it says Seaside. Yes, so that was actually in Forked River, New Jersey is where Quilting Possibilities was. Forked River, New Jersey. So everybody, I'm gonna write that down on our list also. So now we have a nice big long list for coming up Feature Fridays. Look at that. Right up here, I'm going to put down Seaside Wool Wall Hanging. There we go. Kit. But there's nothing softer than boiled wool. Oh, thank you, Christina. Thank you. Get me a drink of my coffee here. So everybody, I'm going to call it. I'm going to lose my voice here in a minute, but thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next Friday night. We are going to be doing IQ Designer and Applique in the Hoop is what the next tutorial is for next Friday night. In the meantime, I will be getting those videos edited and posted for the entire series of Lunchbox Quilts, Just Flowers. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I love each and every one of you. I truly do. And y'all have a wonderful, glorious week. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night, everybody. Good night.